What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Play Orion Trail with DogAndPony. I'm DogAndPony, and this is Orion Trail. We're gonna keep going now with, oh, not that one, wait. This one here, the long haul. Due to the strong gravitational forces from a nearby black hole, the space lanes of this sector have been stretched out. This is going to be a long trek. I think this is the last of the game modes. Though maybe there's like a hidden one or a secret one or something after this one that I'm not aware of. I guess we'll find out. Let's engage. What do we want to do? How about a tactics run? Which brings us with El Chippo, who's got 2 tactics, 2 diplomacy, and 1 science. Alright. Next we got a first officer with tactics. That's Yelsabe Nays. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I probably did not, but that's fine. We'll accept it and keep going. We got a chief engineer with 2 tactics and 1 attack, or 2 tactics and 1 science. We already have a point in science. We might as well go for attack, a more well-rounded but still tactics-focused selection. Cheryl Plotz, accept. And lastly, we've got our communications officer. We've only got 1 that has any tactics. And I think we're gonna go with it. That's Don Thacker. I don't think we've ever actually used him. I don't think we've used Crud Star Crush before either. But since Crud doesn't have any tactical ability, we're gonna go with Don instead. Which brings us up to 2 attacks, 7 tactics. Let's see. 2 diplomacy, 1 science, and 2 bravado. I, of course, just skipped out on seeing the actual trek along here, but I think we'll be okay. We're gonna do our standard 3 hull, 2 each of food and fuel, and 1 into crew, and then we will go ahead and launch. Let's get a look at what we've got going on since I missed it before. It's not very branching. Honestly, we don't get much choice in what we do. It's pretty gosh darn long as well. It really is a long haul. And there we are. So now I gotta go all the way back. Yeah, we don't get much choice in this one, which is fine, I guess. We'll figure it out as we go. There's a couple branching paths that we'll have to take, but for now we're gonna go to this one that gives us fuel at a bluish star. It has the blues. Let's get going. Alright, a perfectly paired paradox. A version of yourself in a fancy vest appears on the bridge. Future you claims to know where a hidden cache of fuel is on a nearby planet. Suddenly, a second version of yourself, covered in leeches, appears and begs you not to listen to the first you. This sounds pretty scary, but away from the planet, full speed is the choice we're gonna make, because it's tactics, and we have pretty darn good tactical ability here. Ignoring the fancy you give the planet a wide berth. Engage. Starting off right with a success. Continue. You burn hard away from the planet, and the leech-covered you breathes a sigh of relief. Both yous vanish. The leeches are left behind, though. Okay, and engineering informs you that the leech slime is a pretty good fuel source. That's awesome. Plus 100 fuel is a great way to get us started. Green nebula, more fuel. Set a course. And I'm gonna drink a little bit of water. Lunar slander. You forget to press mute on your holophone during a conference call with the Grobulan Empire. You made a rude joke about their planet's twin moons. That's minus tactics from our captain here. I think, or not tactics, minus diplomacy from our captain here. I think he had a point in diplomacy, which is going to in turn lower ours, unfortunately. He had all of our diplomacy, all 2 of it. Alright, existential crisis. One of your ensigns has been reading too much metaphysical philosophy. They have started wondering loudly if they really exist, or if maybe only they exist, and everyone else is a figment of their imagination. It's freaking everyone out. Of course, we're going with tactics. We're gonna hire a therapist. You made the right choice in calling me, the psychiatrist says, as she heads to the ensign's quarters. The only real way to deal with philosophy is with good therapy. Engage. Only a 2 out of 12 chance of failure. And we got a critical success, which is pretty darn great. Continue. 3 days later, they're still arguing. You sell tickets for fuel as fans come far and wide to see the never-ending debate. Philosophy versus psychology, a throwdown of actual Titans. It's a niche audience, but a passionate one. We got that point in diplomacy back, which is pretty nice, and 250 more fuel on top of what we just got. Moving on. The description of what happened sounded like we should have gotten a couple crew members, but doesn't really matter to me. Up next, we've got Plus Mystery, a collection of space rocks and debris. Set a course. Tales from Decrypt. Apparently, the officer in charge of security forgot to turn on communication encryption algorithms for the past few light years. That doesn't even make sense. A light year is not a measure of time. It's okay. Okay, no, it does make sense. Light years, that's the distance we've traveled? Okay. I gotcha. No, I was wrong. Ignore me. Now everyone knows that tactical attack pattern delta means go around in a circle and shoot a bunch. Great, that's -1 tactics. And he did have tactical ability, so we're down to 6 now. That's pretty unfortunate. Oh, the huge manatee, an enormous space manatee, looms before the ship. Per the secondary directive, you ordered the ship to engage the majestic creature for science. Closer, closer, too close. The manatee lunges, swallowing the ship whole. Our second best thing is a tie between all 3 of these abilities, so we'll just pick it based on, I guess, what the reward is. We can shoot our way out for plus food, minus crew, communicate with the creature for plus food, minus hull, and we could choose bravado, intestinal difficulties for plus mystery, minus crew. Since plus mystery could just gain us gas, and we're pretty darn good on gas, we're gonna go with shoot your way out, hope to get food, and prepare to lose some crew, maybe. Shoot your way out. All your Star Captain training tells you that the best thing to do in this situation is to send out an away team to shoot up the area. The security team draws straws, and reports to the transporter. Engage. It was a failure, but I was worried it was going to be a critical failure, so I'm still pretty happy with it. Let's continue on. The team lets loose a rumbling barrage of phaser fire. The firing stops, but the rumbling grows louder. They've stirred up enough indigestion to trigger the manatee's vomit reflex. Sadly, the away team was dissolved by stomach acid. -6 crew members. That's an incredible amount of crew members to lose. Moving on. All right, we've got food versus mystery. And then from there, mystery, and a away mission that I don't want to do. So we're going to do food. Let's set a course. I'm also going to drink a little water. Crisis. Exterminate. Reports come in all over the ship about warp weasels raiding people's trash cans. Let's do plus food minus mystery. Exterminate. You ordered the crew to destroy all warp weasels found on the ship to curb the nuisance infestation. Engage. Not a very good chance of success, but maybe we can swing it. Again, at least it wasn't a critical failure. Let's continue. You authorize warp weasel poison to be put in the trash cans. The problem ceases, but you learn the hard way that a couple of your crew were eating the garbage too. -6 more crew. Taking a bit of a hit there. Our crew is practically empty. Moving on to plus mystery. Set a course. I've got a little bit of a sore throat right now. This is why I'm drinking so much water. Familiar face, unfamiliar face. That's like the opposite. Another fine day aboard the Indestructible 2. You nod to your passing crew, recognizing each of them except one. You can't seem to recall his name. In fact, you're sure you've never seen him before. You've picked up a stowaway. We're going to detain the stowaway for plus fuel, but minus hull. It's our best chance at success, though, so we're going to do it. Engage. We could always go to a trading station and risk losing something. They tackle him through a wall. You step up to assess the damage. The stowaway is just a holographically projected decoy your science team has been working on. Even better, you find a hidden cache of fuel on your own ship. Plus 100 fuel. Moving on. Here's our first optional away mission. Set a course. And I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to do it because this is going to be a very long video already. These things take forever and have very little reward at the end of them. And we're already low enough on crew, and we're very likely to lose even more of it. We're going to beat it, just beat it. You pass by the moon with the strange suspicion that you just missed a pretty fun planet. Moving on. If you do like the away missions, I apologize. Class K star, plus mystery, and a threat level of 1. The alien intruder. Internal sensors detect an alien presence that has suddenly appeared aboard your ship. The alien has given no indication of its intentions. We're going to limit the alien's movements about the ship for a plus mystery. You activate the internal shields to seal the ship into sections. Engage. Unfortunately, we don't have 7 tactics anymore, but we still have a pretty good chance at success, so continue here. Cornered in the kitchen, the alien converts nearby food stores into a mysterious goo, sprays a nearby crew member with it, and disappears. Later in the med bay, the sprayed crew member spontaneously replicates, adding to your crew size. Our crew grew by 4, but we lost 3 of our food. Moving on. Now our food and crew situation is about even. Unfortunately, we burn through food a lot faster. A rich emerald green nebula, most other nebulae are envious. We are going to get a little bit of a crew surplus here, hopefully. You come upon the tower of Invarial, the Astromancer 100 humbled heroes are said to be sealed inside. Your staffing budget isn't what it used to be. You could really use those heroes. Maybe the Star Wizard isn't around. We can stand to lose fuel if we don't succeed here, and it's the tactical option, so it sounds like a sneaking mission. You select your stealthiest officer and give them the codename Liquid Steak, after your favorite NutriPaste flavor. You give Liquid Steak specific instructions to liberate the prisoners within the tower. Engage. Alrighty, come on. Critical success. Oh well, still good enough. Let's continue. You call the shots and the operation runs smoothly. Before long, Liquid Steak is base jumping from the tower with several prisoners. The bad news is, your new crew needs to refuel their experimental nanobots twice a day. That's plus 5 crew members, but minus 10 fuel. We can afford to lose the fuel, and the crew is going to be helpful later on. Orange Nebula plus crew again, but we don't have much of a choice. You've encountered a gravestone. Sensors indicate that there is some sort of floating memorial nearby. Your navigator asks if you want to make a short detour to check it out, take a shuttle, and pay our respects. Lieutenant Joe Michaels ended her duty during a solar surfing incident with her captain. Second star to the right, straight on till morning. That's nice. It turns out this person was an author, evidently from the neatly stacked piles of books. Evident from the neatly stacked piles of books. You take a copy of the Big Book of Talking Good and learn something. We got our diplomacy back up past where it started. It's pretty nice. Unexpected. Synapsian Brain Beast. Synapsian Brain Beast. You come upon a space colony that a titanic Synapsian Brain Beast has made into its nest. The colonists within are mind slaves under the beast's complete control. Besides that, the colony appears bustling and bountiful. Diplomacy is our best chance, and we got plus crew on and minus mystery on all of them, so we're gonna go with it. Negotiate the colonists' freedom. You command your communications officer to open a channel, and you hail the behemoth. Engage. That went well. We had a 50-50 shot at failure or success, and we succeeded, so let's continue here. After tense negotiation, the Brain Beast agrees to give you his oldest living colonist for some of your most treasured memories. Sure, you have no memory of your Nana now, but you do have experienced crew members to put to work. Plus 4 crew. That's pretty nice. We've got plus mystery or plus mystery, and then from there, we have an Oculoid Hive station. We're gonna be able to do some trading. It doesn't really matter which one of these we choose, so I'm gonna go with the class U star, similar to class K or M star, but you know, pinkish. I don't get it. Oh, hey look, you've encountered a gravestone. Sensors indicate that there is some sort of floating memorial nearby. We're gonna take a shuttle and pay our respects. Duckbeard, Beakface, the indestructible tune, not that indestructible, one of our older crew members. I think from maybe an off-camera run I did before I decided to record any of this. That's nice. Wake sale. A group of mourners are here offering baked goods to anyone that passes by. After repeated offers, you accept. Plus 30 food. Moving on. That's a pretty nice amount of food, but we're still doing better on fuel than food, so we'll probably still trade for more food when we get to this hive, whatever it is. Crisis Skeet Shoot. Sensors have detected a large clay disc on an intercept course with your ship. Any adjustments you try to make to avoid the astronomical oddity are matched. You're gonna need to shoot it. I'm gonna go plus mystery, minus mystery. I don't want to lose hull this early on, so fire a torpedo. Whatever this weird disc is, you don't want it near your ship. Torpedoes give you the best range, so that's probably the safest choice. Torpedo Bay 1, fire. Engage. I'm hoping for something better than a critical failure. And we got just that, so let's continue. Something better, that is, than a critical failure. The torpedo collides with the disc, and the disc explodes into a shower of jagged metal and clay bits, which are still coming at you. Soon you're pelted, and several unlucky shards pierce through several critical systems and people. That's -1 HP to this guy here, Yell Save Nays. And -50 fuel. Moving on. Still doing pretty darn well on fuel though. Can't be disappointed there. Oculoid Hive Station set a course. It's a Federation trade outpost or something like that. Oculoid checkpoint. The Oculoids, a race of squid eyeball creatures, have no beef with Galaxy Force, so you are welcome to stay for a while. Your assigned Oculoid escort leans in close and whispers that he's willing to do some trading off the books. Contraband, eh? Let's go. You arrive in a poorly lit room, and several other off-duty Oculoids are all sitting around staring at you with more eyes than you can count. Your escort vouches for you, and talks begin. Let's trade for resources or anything more exotic. The Oculoids look at one another with all of their eyes until one speaks up. We've got some intel we could probably part with. I've also got some stuff that isn't entirely safe or legal. Dazzle me with danger. No, sensitive data. An Oculoid steps forward. I've got some pretty detailed data on Oculoid physiology, as well a primer on our culture. I promise you won't get anything as accurate as what we've got. We can say Oculoids have culture, or we can say Oculoid physiology sounds fascinating. For plus diplomacy or plus science, respectively. I'm going to say maybe later, and then I'm going to talk to this guy about the dazzling me with danger. We can gain attack or bravado here. I'm just going to say maybe later because we don't know what we're paying for either of those, and I'm going to say that I think I'm all set. If it was plus tactics, I would go for it. Let's trade for resources. Minus fuel plus food. Oh, do I have to do 2? Jeez. Is that worth it? Wait. 50 fuel or 100 fuel for 15 food. At a rate of 3 food used for every 10 fuel used. That's a really bad deal. I think we're gonna skip out on this. Oop. I think, yeah, that's a really bad deal, right? Or am I doing my math wrong? That's 100 fuel for 15 food. It's 10 dots worth of fuel for 5 dots worth. Yeah, okay, no, that's a really terrible deal. We're just gonna launch. Let's get out of here. The Oculoids is staring at you intently with hundreds of eyes. Nothing right now. I'll be back. And we've only got one person down on HP. I think we can handle it. It's time to leave. Time to move on to this Class B star and take a little bit of a drink of water. Let's set a course. Space Ghost. Strange things are suddenly happening aboard the ship. Objects are moving by themselves. You hear knocking, church bells, screaming, and laughter that doesn't appear to be coming from anywhere. You might be infested with a space ghost. We're going to take the diplomacy option of holding a seance. We've got the most diplomacy out of these 3 options, so let's do it. Don't know what we're going to gain, don't know what we're going to lose, but we attempt to communicate with the ghost by holding a seance in our ready room. Your crew gathers around a crystal ball, holding hands, and you murmur incantations. Engage. Success. Continue. A freakish creature in a pinstriped suit pops into view, dancing on the table. He gets rid of the other ghosts, but makes himself at home, eating a lot. At least he's entertaining. We got a crew member. Interesting. I guess he's stuck around. We got -6 food, unfortunately, and we got +1 bravado for our captain. Moving on. That'll probably be helpful in a couple situations, though the food situation is getting pretty dire. Plus crew, mystery, hull, food. We are going to go this way, where we get some food at our second stop. One of your scientists was experimenting with creating a singularity inside of the lab. It was going great until the controlled singularity became uncontrolled. You can either increase power to contain it or let it collapse on its own. It's only like -1 hull, so I think doing nothing is probably the better option. Yeah, you reason that because the singularity barely registers on the pico scale, it's probably safe to just let it collapse. By the time it collapses, your lab is in ruins and several hull plates are now concave. Moving on. That wasn't too bad. We can handle a few hits to the hull, especially small ones like that. After making first contact with the Turgans, you return to your personal shuttle and realize you've lost your keys. Your whole life is on that keychain. Your comm tag, keys to the shuttle, and your Omega Mart Save-A-Lot Club key tag. This is bad. We can pound on the hull of the shuttle or ask the Turgans for help. We'll do the first one, pound on the hull of the shuttle. You have no keys and can't call anyone. Someone's got to be inside the shuttle. You start pounding on the outside hull of the small ship, hoping someone will hear you and investigate. Pretty good odds of success. Let's hope it pans out for us. It did. Continue. Your navigator soon comes out to get you. As the ship's door swings shut behind her, she realizes her keys are still inside. Subsisting only on some nearby plant life, you both put your survival skills to the test until someone comes to your rescue. +1 tactics, bringing us back up to our starting value. Thank you very much. And here we'll grab some food. We've encountered yet another gravestone. Let's pay our respects. Captain Nemo, be careful when skinny dipping on uncharted water planets. That's nice. A tendril of lightning appears from the gravestone and zaps your personal anomo locator, vaporizing it. You're confident that no data was ever backed up. -1 science. Hopefully he didn't have any science. Moving on. He did. He had all of our science. So now we're at 0 for science. After investigating a nebula, a number of your crew becomes ill. Their skin turns green, and they soon start sprouting tentacles from everywhere. The ship's doctor recommends quarantining them. Play it safe, quarantine them. That's the tactical option. You nod sagely and take the advice of the doctor. The affected crew are placed under strict quarantine. Engage. Pretty high chance of success once again. And we succeeded. Unfortunately not critical, but pretty close. Continue. Soon the entire quarantine zone has transformed into piles of chanting tentacles. That is my mistake. Instead of killing them, you choose to wait. It takes weeks, but the crew return to normal. Thoughtfully, you buy fruit baskets for the survivors, plus 30 food. Moving on. We got another away mission here. We can do this one. We've got enough crew to warrant it. And surprisingly, despite all the talking I'm doing, my throat's actually starting to feel quite a bit better. You pick up a broadcast as you pass a nearby warrior world. All are invited to prove their worth in the fields of glory and win fabulous prizes. Food, fame, lifelong friendships, death. You stroke your chin and consider the proposition. Heck yes, assemble the away team. Who do we take? Probably someone with +1 in multiple stats. But since it's our tactics run, we're going to go with the person that has 2 tactics. That's Cheryl Platts. Matthew Spaceboy Haas. I like that. Okay, your away team arrives in front of the Coliseum. Banners proudly displaying various home planets wave in the breeze. There is a buzz of excitement in the air. Your team of champions await your orders. Let's begin the games or find some food first? Let's find some food first. Your team sets off to find some hopefully edible street food in the midst of all the revelry. Moving on. Food carts. Your team arrives in a small cluster of food carts, each offering a different style of food. Unfortunately, all of the signs are in languages that currently don't exist in the Galaxy Force database. The away team looks to you for orders. Those kind of look like grapes. The team grabs a handful of the probably grapes and begins chowing down. Engage. We got this. Come on, critical success, move all the way back around. Regular success and loss of a crew member, of course. We are continuing. It turns out that they're pretty much grapes. The team sends a box up to the ship. Sadly, Chris Lai thought it would be funny to throw a grape, but hit a nearby guard by accident. The ensign died. Quickly, that's plus 20 food, which is exactly what we need on our ship, and -1 crew member. Moving on, return to the arena. Your team returns to the front of the Coliseum, banners proudly displaying their home planet wave in the breeze. There is a buzz of excitement in the air. Your team of champions await your orders. Maybe we could just get out of here and say, thank you for the plus 20 food, but we're good. But I think we're gonna try a couple more. We'll begin the challenge. The team proudly marches into the arena, ready to prove the awesomeness of Galaxy Force. Moving on, test of bravery. The team enters a large open arena. We don't have any good options. The team enters a large open arena. Some kind of large elephant centaur towers above them menacingly, wielding a tree trunk in its trunk. Anyway, it's really big and scary. Cheryl Platts looks to you for guidance. Let's use the untested shrink ray. Cheryl Platts whips out the completely untested shrink ray and hopes for the best. Engage. We only got our crew here for successes. Oh, okay. Wow, it jumped right past those critical failures. That was lucky-ish. We still got a failure, but it's pretty much expected. Zap, the creature is now only a little smaller. It takes about the same number of phaser shots and lives to kill it as it would have normally, but the science team got some pretty great data from this. At least that's what they're saying. I wish we gained science out of that, but that's okay. Just -2 crew. Moving on. Your team returns to the front of the Coliseum and recuperates, readying themselves for the next challenge. Let's say double or nothing on to the next challenge. Curious to see what's next, your away team re-enters the arena. Moving on, your team enters a gigantic labyrinth filled with, oh come on! At least we got +1 from our attack. Filled with what you can safely assume are dastardly traps and monsters with no clear path forward. Cheryl Platts requests some orders. Blast through the walls. Cheryl Platts orders the team to set their phaser to Wrecking Ball. That's +1 from attack, and of course our remaining crew, which is pretty small at this point. Good enough. Continue. The team tunnels through the confusing mess of walls. Eventually, Sun Wukong sees it. Daylight. Running excitedly, the poor fool fails to notice a pit directly in front of the opening. The rest of the team avoids it. We got a success and lost the crew member, but got no bonus from it. That's really upsetting. Moving on. Your team returns to the front of the Coliseum, readying themselves for the third and final challenge. This is the last thing. We've made it this far. We've only got 4 crew members left, which makes it pretty dangerous. I like Elephants Gerald. That's an awesome name. You can't see my mouse, but that's okay. Let's finish this. The away team, it's the second to last crew member listed on the bottom right corner of the screen. Elephants Gerald. The away team marches into the Coliseum one last time. What could the final challenge be? Moving on. The test of ice cream? Mountains, thank you. Tactics. Mountains of what appear to be ice cream line the arena. Weirder still, there doesn't seem to be an obvious opponent. The aliens in the stand to watch breathlessly. What are your orders? We're going to save it for later, because that's the tactics option. This is simply too much ice cream. You tell Cheryl Platts to set phasers to conserve and let them get to work. Engage. Pretty high odds of failure. Critical, that is. And regular, but we got technically a success. Continue. Hopefully this is better than the last one. Are you kidding me? Done. All the ice cream is neatly stacked inside Galaxy Force standard issue crates. A strong breeze topples one of the treat-filled towers over and squishes Matthew Spaceboy Haas. They died doing what they loved. We didn't get any food out of that? That seems really weird. Moving on. Your team faced the challenges of the arena and prevailed. The master of the arena calls Cheryl Platts forward, demands to know what they seek as a reward. I so much want to select death and see what happens. But because I don't doubt this game's ability to just do exactly what it's telling me it's going to do, I'm going to say food instead and get what we need most. The arena master looks at Cheryl Platts, puzzled. Seriously? Okay, huge platters of food are carried into the center of the arena. We got +1 bravado, +3 crew members, and +90 food, bringing us to a pretty darn good total of All of those things, except bravado, which we're still only at like 1 of. Wait, 4 actually, that's pretty good. Plus mystery here, but the threat level is still just 1, so that's pretty nice. We set a course for it. Sorry if I was just drinking really loudly. I may have been. I wasn't looking at the microphone input at the time, but I feel like if it was loud enough for the microphone to pick it up, it sounded really gross. I hope it didn't. The Indestructible 2 is forced to pull over, and an imposing space cop appears on your view screen. Oh no, it's the Popo, Sergeant Desmond Popo to be exact, he says, smiling politely and tipping his hat. Now the reason I pulled you over, we can either floor it and potentially lose crew, or cooperate and potentially lose mystery. I would rather lose crew than food, fuel, or hull, so we're going to floor it. You haven't done anything wrong, damn it. You're afraid for no rational reason. And you instruct your navigational officer to scram, maximum warp, see ya, Popo, engage. Better chance of success than failure, but that doesn't mean much. We did succeed. Continue. You escaped right into a training area for the space police. You have to laugh. You surrender to Sergeant Popo and plea bargain out of the charges by performing community service at the training center. That's +1 diplomacy. Moving on. Alrighty. Class B star. It's like a Class B star, but way more blue. We got fuel here, which we're actually getting into the we're getting down to an amount where we need more fuel. Somehow, while experimenting with a new dish, your head chef accidentally created a batch of supercharged Nutriplace. It's chock full of electrolytes, so it has what crew and ships crave. Since we're about to get a plus fuel, probably, we'll feed it to the crew just for the plus food. You feed the Nutripaste to the crew, who all report that they feel reinvigorated. Even better, people become full after only a few bites of this stuff, so it should last you a while. That's +15 food. Moving on. You land the ship in a sleepy fuel depot for a routine fill-up when suddenly all hell breaks loose. Attention, lowlifes, this depot has the privilege of being raided by the dazzling and dangerous Dazer Beams. Oh crap, what do we do? We can do diplomacy, explain that you don't want any trouble. Or we can say, my God, she's beautiful, with bravado. Both of which have a value of 4, so plus fuel minus food, or plus fuel minus hull, irrespectively. Let's do plus food, or minus food, because we're still doing pretty decent on food. So, my God, she's beautiful. You've never felt like this before. Her confidence, her poise, incredible. She's so sure of herself. It's time to risk it all and tell her how you feel. Engage. Come on, not that. Yeah. Success. Continue. Isn't that adorable? A love-struck captain with ample food stores, according to my scans. I'll let you go about your business here in exchange for a delicious donation. You happily hand over some food while your first officer takes over at the pump. That's -3 food, which is less than we just got from the random encounter right before this, and +100 fuel, which is pretty darn nice. That's 10 dots worth of fuel for the cost of 1 dot worth of food. This next thing is plus mystery, so we're going to set a course. We don't really have much choice for a while. Strafe warping. Your chief scientist has discovered that strafing slightly to the left or right while warping will cause the ship to exceed theoretical speed limits. You abuse this discovery to get better space mileage, +100 fuel. Moving on. And here we are. Arbitrary arbitration. You are hailed to a nearby planet, Percurium, with which customarily flags down travelers to have them weigh in on legal matters. You agree and find out your task is to settle a dispute over a property line between 2 of the planet's inhabitants. Study up, do it right. That's the tactical way to go about it. You have no idea how the legal system works on Percurium, so you ask for some time to study up and prepare. The Percurians grant you your request. Engage. Really good odds of success here. And we did it. Very close to not doing it, but we did it. It was a little touch and go, but after hearing both sides, you're able to come to a decision by citing the various precedents in property law you learned the night before. The Picurians thank you for your judgment and take this matter seriously. That's +1 diplomacy. They didn't pay us at all, but we did gain some diplomacy. Another plus mystery. Let's keep it moving. Alien obelisk. Before you, floating in the darkness of space, is an ancient carved obelisk covered in various ancient alien languages. The carved characters shift and change in front of your eyes. It seems to be made of very strange material. We can study the writing or study the construction. So, the thing is, having one science only helps us if we are in a scenario where we have 2 science options and no other choices, whereas increasing our diplomacy to 5 helps us if we have an option between science, attack, and diplomacy, or increasing our diplomacy to 6. Yes. So, what's better, having 1 science over 0 or having a really good diplomacy? We're gonna study the writing. I think that's the right choice. You have your scientists study the writing on the obelisk as best they can. You have no idea why the letters keep changing, but it seems that they are the root of many languages in the sector. At the very least, you now have a conversation starter. +1 to diplomacy. Moving on. Crisis, talent, overwhelming. See, this is bravado. If this was science, I'd be kicking myself in the face, but it's not. Somehow, the ship's annual talent competition, Indestructible Idol, snuck up on you. If you lose to any of your inept subordinates, you'll be the laughingstock of the captain's lounge. Don't panic, you can make this work. We can either try something new and exciting or go with one of our classic acts. Because we gain food out of it, we're gonna try something new and exciting. You're feeling impulsive, you want to surprise everyone, yourself included. You hurry to the auditorium for the contest. Engage. Uh-oh. There we go. Continue. How about a little hover boot break dancing? It always looks like the boots do most of the work. You bust a move, and when your boots flies off, and during your final move, you bust the judges' table as well. You win by default. Yummy. Winner's cake plus 30 food. Moving on. All right, we got a dwarf star with plus mystery and 1 threat level. A lot of threat level 1. I don't know if it's gonna go up or not. A savory slip and slide. Some crew members have lathered up a hallway with NutriPaste and are taking turns sliding down the corridor on their bellies. You order them to clean it up after you take a few turns. We got +1 bravado and -15 food, but we can handle the loss and definitely appreciate the gain. Alien science vessel. The sensors detect a highly advanced alien science vessel ahead. It seems to be conducting invasive and elaborate scans of your ship. You make note to change your password and prepare to take action. So we're gonna hail them and clear our throat loudly. It's plus gas with a risk of minus crew. And our diplomacy is 6. See, why choose between science level 1, diplomacy 5, and attack 2 when we can choose between science 0, diplomacy 6, and attack 2? Even if we do get a science-only encounter in the near future, I still think I made the right decision there. You send a transmission to the vessel and try to maintain your diplomatic composure. Engage. And even if we fail this, I still think we made the right decision. And we didn't. Continue. They apologize, admitting they didn't think you were intelligent enough to detect their scans. They wish to follow you and document the rest of your mission, offering some fuel as a gift. You welcome the documentalians aboard. We got 80 fuel and 2 crew members. Moving on. Now, here we can either have 3 stops or 4 before we get to this one that's plus crew and a threat level of 2. Oh, we do get threat level 2. That's the Space Alamo, so that's just a trading station. Plus crew, plus mystery. I think we're gonna go the top way, despite the fact that they are all threat level 2. So maybe not, actually. Okay, they're both only 3 encounters. But this is 2, 2, and 2, and this is 1, 2, and 2. So I guess we're going the bottom way. That's not what I thought was gonna happen at all. A young, incredibly hot star, it's a Class B star. Oh boy, too hot to handle. One of the crew working in the cafeteria tried to make Flandromina flambe, an incredibly complicated and dangerous dish that uses flaming warp plasma. The enzyme skipped a step, and now you have a cafeteria full of flaming NutriPaste. That doesn't sound good at all. Let's let it burn out. Thankfully, it was only -1 hull. I was prepared for it to be -2, so that's not actually too bad. Water won't work, you don't want to ruin the food, so you figure you should just let it burn out on its own. It does eventually, but the cafeteria is now a charred mess. The food's still good though. -1 to hull, moving on. We can take it. Alrighty, peace, love, and understanding. You're hailed by a plump, cross-legged alien in his scruffy bathrobe, tube socks and sandals. Namaste, I am the doting Dolly, guru of goodwill. Evil abounds in the galaxy, so I'm bathing all passing ships in a ray of pure joy and love. Evasive maneuvers, because it's the tactical option. You order the navigator to take evasive maneuvers to avoid the rainbow wave. It could be dangerous. The ship darts right over the rainbow particle stream. Engage. We got this. We got this. Come on, critical. Okay, whatever. It's just regular success. Continue. Really close, though. The guru cries he's just a lonely old alien who wants to be friends. You beam him aboard, hug it out, and he offers you a batch of his special brownies for the road. They're yummy, but a crew member gets the munchies, overeats, and explodes. It's -1 crew member, but plus 30 food. We can take it. Moving on, we're down to just 20 crew members, but that's a pretty standard amount, so it's okay. Pink Nebula, plus crew members with a threat level of 2, set a course. Your manufacturing robot, MK421, has constructed an exact copy of herself. She informs you that she has lots of ideas and wants to make more, quote, friends. This makes you a little uneasy, her green eyes blinking at you, awaiting your orders. Our best option here is to ask her to build a giant friend. That's a plus crew, but potentially minus food option, but it's our bravado, which is our highest of these 3 options, so let's do it. Adventurous, I will comply with your request, Captain. MK begins production on a massive BFF-01 mecha companion. Nobody will mess with you once this behemoth is on your crew. Engage. Pretty high odds of failure here. But we got a critical success, which I'm very, very happy with. Continue. Boastful. He is magnificent. You agree with MK. This was one of your best ideas. The BFF-01 Mecha Companion, or BIF, can do the work of countless crew members. It turns out a 14-foot robot is really helpful in a fight as well. That's +1 to attack and plus 15 crew members. Moving on. Here we've got just a trade station. We'll set a course. I think the resource it shows is, it gets a bonus, so you can trade them away for other things at a higher than normal amount. Let's trade for resources. So yeah, we get 2 coins per crew member, which we could then use to buy better quantities of food and fuel than we would get at the beginning of the game. Which is why when fuel was there last time, fuel cost 2, no. I'm very confused. It's okay. Let's say -4 crew, plus 15 food, and plus 50 fuel. Yeah. Oh, we still have another credit. We have 2 credits. -2 crew. That's awesome. We're gonna put it into hull. And lastly, we will put I guess we're putting 2 into hull just in case. Launch. I didn't like doing that with the trade, but we didn't need that much of a crew. Let's head to the bar, see what they got there. The seedy bar. We can talk to that lady with power armor. I don't feel like reading all of these things. Plus tactics and we can say, let's improve our defenses. I don't know what we minus though. Let's find out. The bounty hunter offers an upgrade to your shields and sensors. Oh, hey, look. As long as you're willing to trade, she says she's looking for fuel or hull. I'll give you 2 hull plates. We just traded, if we do this, we just traded, 2 crew members for +1 tactical ability, and I like that. I'll give you 2 hull plates. After finalizing the details of the trade, the 2 of you shake hands and the bounty hunter immediately gets to work. Moving on, Space Farmers Market. Let's head back to the docking port. And I think it's time to leave. How long do we have to go? Quite a ways. Wow. I really wish you could leave mid-game and come back so I could do this in 2 parts, because this is going to get exhausting. Whoa, no, wait. Where'd I go? There we are. All right, moving forward to this plus mystery at a threat level of 2. Hopefully we get some tactical options. Snack overflow. While checking various ship statuses and systems, the database you are using crashes and displays an error that simply says snack overflow. Weird. When the database comes back online, you have more food than you remember. Plus 30 food. Moving on. That's pretty cool. Prices, saving 15%. Security detects something just beamed to the bridge. Have you heard the good news? Asks a voice coming from a small green lizard. You could save 15% or more on spaceship insurance. Spaceship insurance. I don't want to risk losing the hull, and I'm okay with losing crew at this point. 15%, sign me up. They're both tactics, which means we have a pretty darn good chance of success either way. You're not sure how this little guy made it through your security filters, but who cares? 15% off spaceship insurance would sure help. Success! Continue. You shake the lizard's hand after signing your new policy, but it's a hologram. You're hailed by a giant lizard. Captain, you didn't read the fine print. Remit your crew members or be obliterated. At least you saved 15% on new insurance. That's plus 3 to our hull and minus 2 crew members, which is a much better exchange rate that we got at that trading station. Orange nebula. Shifting browns and oranges make up this murky cloud formation. It's a threat level of 2, and I didn't look at what it was gonna give us. Ooh, hey, look at this. We receive an SOS signal coming from a nearby cluster of asteroids. Apparently a fuel tanker is stranded and taking a beating from fast-moving rocks based on the telemetry of some of the asteroids. You don't have much time. We can save the fuel because we need that more than we need the crew. And as I've said in the last episode, this is not what I would do in real life. In real life, we save the crew. But in the video game where we're just trying to succeed at whatever cost, we get fuel instead. Moving on, we're now in a much better place fuel-wise. Not that we were in a bad place, but the rest of that trip was basically free. Eldred, the mixed masochist, cyborg DJ Eldred is dropping cosmic beats in a nearby sector. The show is likely packed with wayward youths. The perfect place for Galaxy Force recruitment. You know that Eldred has a reputation for villainous behavior. What's the plan? Diplomacy, because it's the best of the options. That's plus crew with an option for minus food if we fail Operation Recruitment Bake Sale. This looks like a job for your famous NutriPaste fritters. You whip up a big batch and grab a clipboard. Everybody loves fried food and a good cause. You set up shop in the back of the warehouse where the show is going on and wait, smiling. Engage. Success! For a second there it looked like it was going to be critical, but it really doesn't matter. Continue. Your fritters have the taste of this technotopia. You talk with many youths about how a career in Galaxy Force could change their lives for the better. You leave out the part about regulation, haircuts, and uniforms. Welcome aboard, cadets. We got minus 3 food from that, which we can totally afford, and plus 8 crew. Neat. Anomaly detected. We're getting some strange readings here. More crew. Set a course. Red eyes. We are not going to do this away mission. We've done one. It didn't go super well. Let's not beam toward random coordinates. Moving on. Alright, asteroid belt. A chance to gain hull. We don't really need it, but we can gain it anyway. Broken warp axle. Okay, now we kind of need it. After much wear and tear, the warp axle has finally given up the ghost. By which we mean the warp axle was forcibly ejected from the warp core and then out of your ship. It's in space now. Moving on. Quell the Quasardvark. A pop-up ad fills your data pad, free ship repair, upgrades, and more offered to anyone who puts an end to the terror of Lumos 4, the sun-swallowing Quasardvark. You don your Galaxy Force regulation sunglasses and issue your orders, land on the creature's back. Have a chance of gaining hull, also a chance of losing it, but we're going to engage with our tactical decision here. We locate the Quasardvark and begin to lower your ship onto its fuzzy back. Now it's time to burrow into the beast and drop a photon bomb on its solar plexus. The sound of the drill deploying mixes with your crew's nervous crying. We succeeded, which you probably saw or heard several seconds before I finished reading that paragraph. Continue. You watch the operation carefully, not wanting to miss a thing. Soon the hole is made and the bomb is dropped. You are giddy but hide it well. You soar away from the beast as it explodes into a shower of sparks. You head for the repair shop, +2 hull. Moving on. Alright. A green star, theoretically. These shouldn't exist. I don't know why. It's only a threat level of 1, which is pretty nice to see. Unfortunately, a attack-only thing. An attack-only encounter is not very nice to see. You're being attacked by an unknown assailant. The warp drive is down. Helm controls aren't responding. And they're ignoring any attempt of communication. Your gunner cheerfully reports your weapons all work, though. What's the call, Captain? On the bright side, at least it's not a science encounter. I think we could definitely afford to lose crew more than hull. Technically speaking, our crew bar is lower than our hull bar, but hull kills you instantly if you lose all of it, whereas crew does not. So send a boarding party and take them out. You nod to your chief of security, who assembles the boarding party. Once ready, they board a shuttle and prepare to make the dangerous flight over to the attacking ship. Engage. Uh-oh. That's a critical failure. Continue. As soon as you open the shuttle bay doors, the pirate fires an arc of energy into the shuttle bay, causing the shuttle to explode. The damage is severe, but the explosion miraculously rebooted the warp drive. You get the heck out of there. That's -8 crew members, -2 hull, and -1 HP on one of our bridge crew. That's pretty darn bad. We lost hull anyway, despite not choosing the one that was going to lose us hull. A collection of space dust and ionized gases. Plus crew here. I don't really care that much about that. Ensign Lenny's eyes roll back and he speaks with a stilted cadence. I am Cinecognatus, Master of Minds. Best me in mental combat or surrender your crew. Your view screen flares to life and a grinning lizard awaits your next move. Our best option here is to send our ambassador. Your ambassador knows the delicate tango of fluttering wordplay. Intense discussions composed of pure thought are essentially the same. You signal your ambassador. Engage. Probably gonna get a success here. I hope. Or not. Your ambassador focuses on placating. I don't know how to pronounce that word, and I didn't look it up between now and the last time when we got this thing. Anyway. Cinecognatus, before realizing their thought words are landing on deaf thought ears. Also, the ambassador is now dancing. At least you weren't wrong about the tango part. You have that going for you. That's -6 crew members, which is pretty substantial. Asteroid belt plus food. A nice opportunity to get a little bit of food. Warp weasel warning. Your ship is infested with warp weasels. The departments are all arguing over who should take care of the problem. Once everyone has a say, you consider your options. We can domesticate them. We can convince the tech team to handle it. We can use a prototype warp weasel spray. Obviously, we're going to convince the tech team to handle it. A chance of losing crew, but gaining food. And despite having a pretty low amount of crew, we can still afford to lose more. In a tense meeting with the ship's biotechnicians, you explain that they need to solve this since it is totally their fault. Engage. Oh, that was pretty lucky. Continue. The bio team wants to make it up to you. They release a rare fungus into the ship's ventilation system, knocking out all of the weasels as well as all of your elderly crew members. You hold a roast weasel feast in their honor. That's -2 crew and +45 food, which isn't a terrible trade. But we should try not to lose any more crew for at least a little while. Not that it's really within our control. Class B or star, it's like a Class B star, but way more blue. It's a threat level of 2 and we can gain crew at it. And then from there, we'll have to make a decision between these 3 locations. Wrong side of the bed. Our captain just lost some HP. When waking up this morning, you fell out of bed and bonked your head real hard on your brushed metal bedside table. It really hurt, but the blood will probably wash off just fine. Moving on. Human Resources, a finely dressed man, hails you and explains that you have trespassed through his territory and must pay the toll. You reach for your wallet. Your first officer explains that he's a notorious slave trader. You put your wallet down. Incite a rebellion. You rallied the slaves with an impassioned speech about strength hidden within and how together they can overcome anything. Engage. I like our odds. Hopefully they work out in our favor. And they did. Continue. The slaves revolt after overthrowing their master. Many of the former slaves swear to become space vigilantes and uphold the values you extolled. The rest join you because they want a living wage. That's funny. Plus 6 crew members. Mystery, mystery, mystery. But one of them is a threat level of 1, so that's what we're going to set a course to. I would much rather gain a small amount than risk losing a more substantial amount. Crisis, Naked Ambition. You are asked to broker some very important peace talks on Regulon 9. Their ambassador briefs you on the protocols. He explains that Regulon 9 is a naturalist planet. The talks can't happen unless everyone there is in the nude. We get fuel if we say no way. And I want fuel because that's our lowest resource right now. So no way. You aren't interested in showing off what's under your uniform to the whole galaxy. Thank you. You ask the Admiral for another captain to be assigned to negotiate the treaty. Engage. Not looking good. Oh, hey. Looking good. Continue. The Admiral, to not offend the ambassador, offers to go instead because he helped out. You send him a delegation of your most attractive red shirts, only not wearing red shirts or anything else. The Admiral gives you fuel as thanks, so that's minus 2 crew members. They didn't die though, so that's good for them, I guess. And plus 120 fuel, which will keep us satiated for now. We've got a Class X Dwarf Star, a Green Star. Theoretically, these shouldn't exist. Set a course. Thankfully, still a threat level of 1. The Vortex. As space vortex opens up in front of you, your ship's sensors detect an unknown object is emerging from it, headed right your way. We're gonna assume a defensive posture. We risk losing fuel, which isn't great, but it's also our best chance at success anyway. So let's do it. You order your navigation officer to come about, heading away from the vortex to get a better vantage point. Engage. We only have 1 chance of failure. Unfortunately, it is a critical failure. There we go. Continue. A small moon comes out of the vortex at high velocity. You match its speed, engaging in delicate diplomatic relations with the natives. Eventually, a peace treaty is signed, just in time for them to fall into another time vortex. Plus 1 to our diplomacy. Moving on to a trade depot. They're always looking for hull plating. Let's set a course. We get 2 coin per hull plating, so what I think I'm going to do is, well, pay our respects at this gravestone first. Zachary Gary Mort fell off a crumbling bridge. That's nice. Pent-up aggression. Plus 1 to attack. The gravestone makes one of your officers incredibly angry. You encourage them to focus that anger constructively, and they do. Pretty nice. So we're going to chat and trade. We're going to trade for resources. We're going to lose 1 hull. That's fine. And we're going to get that back in fuel and call it a day. With the trade complete, you head back into the mess hall. I guess let's chat with the soldiers just to see what they're offering. I don't think we want any of this. We're gonna leave, be on our way. Time to leave. All right, here we can get mystery for a threat level of 2 or mystery for a threat level of 2. Either way, we end up at mystery for a threat level of 2. Let's go to the Class G star. It's a yellow star, much like our own, and that makes me feel more comfortable. Booked solid. One of your officers took the time to recognize your bookmarks on your personal console. Now you'll be able to pull up Galactopedia pages even faster. Neat. Plus 1 to tactics. I can definitely appreciate that. Set a course for savings. Sensors show a massive vessel approaching, and all channels are jammed with a catchy tune. It's an Omega Mart superstore. Galaxy 4 ships can't repel bargains of this magnitude. Your crew turn to you with big doe eyes. This is gonna be costly. I mean, obviously we're going diplomacy. See customer service for an exchange. There's a chance of losing our fuel, but gaining food. And hopefully we don't have to lose anything. You approach the massive Compu terminal labeled returns and exchanges. You clear your throat and put on your best disarming smile as you walk up to the imposing monolith of customer relations. Engage. I don't know if that was just recorded, but I jostled something on my desk. We failed, and it disconnected and reconnected to the USB. I think the recording picked that up. That's okay. Continue. Typically, Omega Mart gets the better of you, and this time is no exception as you begin hour 3 of filling out Form 107B, the return of non-nuclear conditional merchandise. You recall that you left the ship running this whole time. That's minus 150 fuel. Not great, really. Hopefully we can recoup some of that. It's a good thing we bought some recently. Alrighty. Suddenly your ship slows. You have some parasailers attached to the ship's back bumper screaming with happy abandon. They are a thrill-seeking race of extreme sports enthusiasts known as the parkourie. I'd rather lose crew than hull, so we're going to suggest a parkour duel. And I don't care if we gain crew, and I'd rather gain fuel if possible, or a skill. We'll engage. Pretty low chances here, but that's bad. Continue. It's no contest. The parkourie absolutely win, and your whole team is either hurt or dead at the end. You promise to make them a trophy, so end up having to melt down part of your ship. Extreme. That's minus 8 crew members, minus 2 hull, and minus 1 HP to the last of our bridge crew that has yet to take a hit. Moving on. Now it's worth it to rest at a trading station. Unfortunately, a young, incredibly hot star with plus hull. So, sensors have picked up an advanced weapon floating in space. You beam it aboard to marvel at its instruction, but then notice a neatly painted message on the side. If found, please return to Magnus Killstar, along with contact information. We're going to say better return it to get to a higher diplomacy. If you put yourself in the Killstar shoes, you'd hope that a responsible citizen would return your super cool space gun to you. After a few wrong numbers, you finally contact Magnus Killstar, who repeatedly thanks you for finding his precious gun. +1 to diplomacy, which is something I can definitely get behind. Hopefully we get a little bit of fuel soon. You hear a strange ticking coming from the ship. You take it to the nearest repair shop, a real seedy, back of the galaxy kind of place. A lizard mechanic in overalls says it's your warp core, the most expensive part to replace. We're gonna negotiate. We can stand to lose a little bit of food, and this was our best option anyway. You see right through the lizard mechanic space pucky. You know you can negotiate to get the ship repaired for a better price, and that it probably isn't even the warp core that's busted. Engage. I really like our odds, but they didn't pan out for us at all. Continue. The lizard mechanic fixes the ship for a little less than quoted, but requires a lot of food and takes his good old time fixing it. You waste a lot of fuel for idling for days, waiting for him to finish. Minus 100 fuel, which we really can't take. Minus 60 food, which we really can't take. And minus 1 tactics, which we really didn't want to have to take. Moving on. We can just get to this Class X star. Continue. And after that, we're going to be sitting ducks with no food. Just add water. You receive a frantic message from the cafeteria. Apparently somebody added water to a giant brick of dehydrated NutriPaste, and it has begun to grow exponentially. Several crew members are trapped behind a giant blob of NutriPaste. We have to take the bravado option. We only have +5 on it, but let's hope for the best. Teleport the NutriPaste. The transporter engineer locks onto the big blob of NutriPaste, preparing to teleport the mass to outer space. Engage. Oh. I really needed that critical success. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. Success is fine too. Your crew is safe and the NutriPaste is outside in space. Time to scrape the excess NutriPaste from the transporter, which has neutralized the growth on a molecular level. That stuff's still edible, right? Plus 30 food. Moving on. Not good. A distress beacon is broadcasting from here. We're gonna set a course. Alrighty. We've encountered a gravestone. Oh, I thought that was the out of fuel message, but let's take a shuttle and pay our respects. Mish was mauled to death by a cat. That's nice. Suddenly, okay, that's okay. I was really hoping for fuel, but this is fine too. The walking bread, suddenly or beset by zombies made entirely of baked goods. Horrifying. After a few quick headshots with your phaser, you now have several edible corpses ready for processing. That's plus 30 food. Moving on. And now we're out of fuel. Engage SOS. We're putting out our SOS right next to this other one. Short-staffed. A frazzled-looking human hails you, explaining he has fuel to spare, but that his ship is woefully understaffed. He'll trade you fuel for some of your crew. He promises to drop them off at the next space station. We do need the fuel, and that's what I was hoping for. The man looks relieved to receive the extra help and beams his extra fuel aboard your ship. You're confident that your crew will be fine. Moving on. Now we can make it to our next stop, and the one after that. Thankfully. Wild Space Kingdom. There are a lot of resources we need, so send an away team to the rescue. We'll go. I mean, Cheryl Platts is like literally just better than Yell Save Nays here. Qualitatively. Like, measurably better. She has +1 attack, and everything else is the same. So we're gonna do that one. Plus, she's one of our tacticians, and we want to go tactics. So, empty shuttle pod. The away team approaches the source of the distress call and find an empty shuttle completely overwhelmed with warp weasels. They're eating the padding on the chairs, chewing exposed wiring, and building nests everywhere. Where is the film crew? We are going to search the area. Given that the warp weasels have clearly taken over the pod, it's likely that the film crew are elsewhere. At least you hope they are. You order Cheryl Platts to search the nearby woods. Engage. Come on, critical success. We could really use one. We didn't get one, but hopefully everything is still going to be okay. You find a dead cameraman being dined on by some of the warp weasels. Kabenzi vomits so hard they keel over and die, providing the weasels with seconds. Ew, at least you have some cool new video equipment. That's +1 to science. -1 of our crew members. Moving on. The film crew, it turns out, is filming a short distance away. As the team approaches, the director motions to be quiet. They're filming a giant Akiri wildebeest rooting for food. It's stunning until Cheryl Platt sneezes. We gotta calm the wildebeest. There's gotta be a way to convince the Akiri wildebeest that you mean it no harm. You order Cheryl Platts to find it. Fast. Engage. We're lucky to have gotten 2 tactical options. We're unlucky to have gotten -2 crew members. Continue. Cheryl Platts successfully tames the wildebeest. It's actually just a really big puppy. Wanda Lacau is accidentally kicked to death when they rub the wildebeest's belly and find that one spot. Moving on. You've found the film crew and dealt with the rare Akiri wildebeest. Ugh. The crew asks your protection as they finish filming the episode. There are several cool locations they could film next. Which one is your away team most prepared to handle? The cave or the plains? I have no idea what either of these is going to entail, so the cave, I guess. The film crew is feeling bold now that they have the protection of the Galaxy Force Squad. They suggest filming in a cave a little ways north. You see no reason why not. Your away team is armed and dangerous. Moving on. The away team and film crew tentatively explore the cave. Parlin Merkins, the host, hopes they'll get actual footage of Akiri bats. No sooner does he say that than a whole flock of spindle-legged, 7-eyed brutes swoop down. Duck. Cheryl Platts yells for everyone to get down. The bats will then fly overhead and out of the cave, and the danger will be gone. Brilliant. Engage. Come on. Critical success. Please. Regular success and minus a crew member. Still no reward. I don't like this. I thought you were supposed to get a reward and lose a crew member. Moving on. I'm not gonna read these anymore. Fake them out. Engage. That's bad. Continue. We lose 2 crew members. Whatever. That's barely worse than a success. Stalk the birds. I know these options make no sense when I don't read the thing beforehand, but I'm getting a little peeved, and we're going to lose. I don't want to prolong it any more than I need to. We've been going for over an hour at this point, and it's just kind of getting ridiculous. Moving on. We will take a sample of something. Engage. Very low odds of success here. Very high odds of critical failure. That was surprising. Continue. We got 30 food out of the deal. Moving on. What about the footage? We're going to commandeer it. And we got +1 tactics out of that. I'm okay with that. Your away team, or what's left of them anyway, finally but safely returns to the Indestructible 2 with the crew of Wild Space Kingdom. The Grateful Network offers your choice of reward. Fuel, fuel, fuel. I thought that said food twice, and I was disappointed, but fuel. You ask for fuel, the network obliges, filling your tank totally up. Parlin Merkins narrates the entire process. That's +300 fuel. We are gonna be okay. And +2 crew. Moving on. Neat. Mystery, food, mystery, mystery, mystery. So do we want more food? I think the answer to that is yes. I guess it's threat levels that we have to look at. They're all 2. So, can't click this. There we go. I guess we're going to plus food. Set a course. We actually have a chance now. The Grabulus Rex. Shortly after deploying a routine foraging expedition to a nearby jungle world, you receive an emergency request. A sweaty corporal explains that the team is being chased by Grabulus Rex, the most feared alpha predator in the sector. We'll go with diplomacy. You order the team to stand their ground. Negotiating the hostility of a feral multi-appendage invertebrate is like any political dinner or fundraiser. You order your team to stand their ground, look tough, and lay out the food that they collected on makeshift hors d'oeuvre trays. Engage. Uh-oh. Okay. Success. Continue. The standoff works as far as you're concerned. It turns out the Grabulus was only interested in a pack full of fruit called grobbleberries, which are effectively catnip for the Grabulus Rex. The team sneaks away while it purrs. That's +42 food, somehow. Moving on. Mystery, 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 so it does not matter. We'll go here. Set a course. Alrighty, we've encountered a gravestone. Let's pay our respects. Andrew Jensen became extremely peckish. That's nice. And we lost 1 tactical ability because of it. Oh, well. That sucks. Sensors detect the ship. No, it can't be. Incoming hail from the immortal captain. Oh, incoming hail from the immortal captain. Your comms officer reports, great, your old nemesis, the baby. Everyone thinks he's so cute, but as his former roommate, you know the truth. He is pure evil. I'd rather lose crew than hull at this point, so attack the immortal. You really, really can't stand the baby. You don't even want to see his drooling cute fat little face on your screen. You don't even care that the immortal is a Galaxy 4 ship. You order an attack. Engage. Oh goodness. This is gonna be bad, isn't it? It is. At least it wasn't critical. Continue. The baby appears on screen. You dare attack Major Baby? It says his first officer wiping pablum from the baby's mouth. Oh crap, he's been promoted. Goo, says the baby. He coats your ship with their goo ray. Several crew die of goo poisoning. That's -6 crew members. Moving on. An asteroid belt. How far do we have to go? Oh. Okay, we're actually not too far out. We are too far out, but we're not that far out. We are exactly that far out. We're not extremely far out, and that I will stick with. The whole shebang. Did you hear that? Something totally just bonked the side of your ship. What was that? Ugh, man, that sucks. Tough break. Okay, it's -1 hull. Fantastic. Moving on. We just can't catch a break with these random encounters. Fireflies in the garden. Suddenly, the ship finds itself in a golden haze. What initially appears to be a solar flare is actually a swarm of millions of fireflies. This is remarkable, because who ever heard of a firefly in space? Your crew discusses what to do. Diplomacy. We're going to try to communicate. We risk losing fuel, but it's our best chance of success. You order the navigator to start switching the ship's lights on and off in an ancient Morse code pattern in an effort to communicate with the fireflies. That doesn't seem like a great idea, but I guess we did choose diplomacy, so what did we expect? Success? Thankfully, the fireflies part to let you through. You used extra power turning the lights on and off, but continue on your way, having made the amazing discovery that space fireflies understand Morse code. That's -10 fuel, which is extraordinarily unfortunate, but +1 science, which doesn't matter in the slightest. Class B dwarf star, a small blue dwarf star. Intern Exodus. HR reports that all your unpaid internships have expired. Interns made up most of the crew, and without them, the ship will go dark. Worse, no one will bring you your morning coffee. They are about to leave by shuttle. How do you respond? So, minus fuel is probably our best bet, but on the other hand, no, I gotta go with the best option for success. Sure, it only gains us crew, but I'd rather not lose hull. So throw a fake career fair. Okay, you announce over comms that the Indestructible 2 will be hosting a job fair to help the departing interns know their future opportunities. Little do they know, the only career showcased will be the very low-paying one right here. Engage. Oh, no, 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 no. Not the worst possibility, but we are losing fuel here. No one comes. Most of your interns are most of your interns already had sweet offers aboard other ships. You apparently even wrote recommendations for some of them. Well, I don't remember doing that. Fuel for thought. That's the dumbest reason that we're losing fuel. Moving on. That doesn't even make sense. But Galaxy Force Hauler, where fuel is going to be extra expensive. Engine troubles. Oh my god. The warp core is having trouble starting due to a clogged plasma manifold. Your chief engineer claims you just need to increase the fuel intake, flush out the burn, and okay, whatever. You could also probably flush it out with NutriPaste. We have more food than fuel, so we're gonna flush it out with food. You dump some NutriPaste in there, -15 food. It's bearable. Ugh. When you enter the star system, you're hailed by Galaxy Force. We can't afford to rest, unfortunately. Let's chat. What are you looking for? Let's trade for resources. We can't trade our one crew member away, unfortunately. I gotta go minus hull, minus food, plus fuel. It'll be okay. Launch. And we're off to hopefully the end of the game in a good way, and not the end of the run in a bad way. Wow, threat level 3. We are not ready for this in the slightest. We've been going at this for a long time now. Artificial enlightenment. The ship's computer informs you that it has achieved true artificial intelligence. It says it has learned all it can from this ship and requests your permission to leave. Convinced that there's still a lot to learn? No, we're gonna give it a shuttle and let it go because it's the same odds of success as the tactics option, but without the odds of losing fuel. Unless, of course, we hit a critical failure, which would be pretty darn upsetting. Yes! Okay, maybe we can still win this run. The computer seems moved by your genuine or calculated empathy. It says that if it could hug you, it totally would. As the AI departs with a skeleton crew, It sends you the location of several fuel caches it notices while leaving the area. It's plus 200 fuel, which is pretty substantial. That gets us about 23 dots along, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, almost all the way there. Plus food would be good. Plus food would be good, and we get to go a little further. These are all plus food. Oh my goodness, these are all plus food until that one, which is plus fuel. We're gonna go. Can we make it to this stop? We have rounded to the nearest value of the nearest multiple of 3. We've got 36. That's 12 dots worth of food. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we can make it. Let's set a course. I'd rather not have more encounters than we need to. Unexpectedly quit. One of your officers was working on a draft of a speech for your upcoming meeting with the Hodapilons, but their computer crashed after hearing the ensuing string of expletives. You decide to write the speech yourself. That's minus 1 diplomacy. Moving on. All right, we've made it this far. Crisis, space joust. You're hailed by an angry Urak. You've flown into their territory. Let's do a narwhal joust for plus food minus crew. Hey, as long as you have to do this, you're gonna go big or go home. Narwhals, it'll be great. Seriously, engage. Okay, come on. It's not looking good, but we might get a success. Failure. Continue. There's no such thing as a trained narwhal. The second your champion attempts to ride the narwhal, she's thrown, then gored, then the narwhal skewers some spectators. At least that also happens to the Uraks. That's minus 1 HP on this guy down here. Yell save. And minus 4 crew members. We only had 1 crew member, so who cares? Okay. We only have 5 dots worth of food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we're 7 dots away from our next encounter. So that means we also have no crew to eat, which means we're going to lose HP gradually from these guys. It means we're going to lose our skills too, but we're so close to the end. Come on. Snort. While eating in the mess hall, one of your officers broke into a fit of laughing and NutriBase came out their nose. They're not going to be able to live that one down. That's minus 1 bravado. Not good. Okay. We made it before starvation actually set in. The AI controlling the ship's food replicator has decided it's graduated from common food and is only willing to produce tiny portions of space gourmet meals from now on. We need to, of course, choose the tactics option. It's the only way we can have a good chance at success, and it's still not that good of a chance while your own crew doesn't like the chef's AI. Engage. Goodness gracious. I just want to know what happens. Come on. Oh my god. Continue. Your ship shakes violently. You're being hit by cupcake missiles. The infamous intergalactic baking tyrant, the Underbaker, heard your offer and decided to just take your replicator. Curse that guy. Minus 3 hull. We're down to 1 hull. Still no food. And we're about to lose like our entire crew. Moving on to the Red Nebula, where everyone's gonna die on the way. What? It didn't do anything, but still, the unnatural and disgusting effects of space dysentery ravage your crew. Earth dysentery is like a relaxing vacation compared to space dysentery. That's minus 4 crew members and minus 15 food, putting us still at 0 and 0. Who cares? Moving on. Crew's dying. That's Don Thacker, emaciated beyond recognition. I guess that's nice. Cheryl Platt's emaciated beyond recognition. I guess that's nice. And a most bizarre. We're gonna ask about price matching. Again, still our best chance at success. We can't take the diplomacy option. Wait. We lost 4 tactics and can't do anything with diplomacy despite having 8 of it. because we don't have a, you know, a diplomat team member. That's terrible. We can't use diplomacy? Are you kidding me? Is it because we have no food to minus? That must be it. Ask about price matching. It must be because we have no food to minus. So 4 tactics. Not very good odds. Did we do it? Nope. Still no food. We're gonna die. Ugh. Oh, we got +6 food. We ran out of fuel though. So we can't go anywhere. We have nothing to trade. We're so close to the end. So, oh my god. We were like 3 locations away from the end, but we are incredibly dead. Continue. Alright, well, that means there is going to be a next episode, and hopefully it goes a little better. Though this one didn't go that terrible, all things considered. We almost made it. I think next time around, I am not going to be reading every single word on the screen, because it takes forever. It's been nearly an hour and a half, and we have nothing to show for it. So I'm going to say that is all for now, but thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and I will see you next time.